Hello, and welcome to the Killer Cuties podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Cassidy, and I've seen almost every horror movie out there.
And I'm KD, and I've seen almost none of them.
So join us each week as I attempt to make a horror fan out of Katie.
As a warning, we will be discussing spoilers and some uncomfortable topics that may be in the plots, so feel free to check out the film on doesthedogdie.com first to check for any triggers before listening.
Today we're going to be talking about the paranormal film based on true events, The Conjuring. Let's get spooky. All right, I'm going to kick us off with a summary. So, in the 70s, the Perron family moves into a farmhouse in Rhode Island. Within the first few days, they begin to experience paranormal events. Their clocks all stop at 3:07. Their dog is found dead. The mom wakes up with bruises, the works. Eventually, they contact famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren for help. The Warrens tell the family that evil spirits have latched onto them and that leaving the house will not help. After some research, they find out that the house used to belong to Bathsheba Sherman, an accused witch who was thought to have murdered her own child. She then cursed the land and took her own life at 3:07. One morning, the mother is seemingly possessed by Bathsheba's spirit. Lorraine ends up in the cellar of the house and encounters the spirit of another woman who Bathsheba had contact with, finding out that Bathsheba had possessed the woman to get her to kill the child. Lots of possession going on here. After Bathsheba attacks one of the daughters, they catch it on camera, and the Warrens decide that that's enough evidence to perform an exorcism. However, they have to get permission straight from the Vatican first because the parents aren't members of the church. The mother, now fully possessed, attempts to kill two of the daughters, but the Warrens tie her up, and Ed decides enough is enough and attempts to perform the exorcism himself, regardless of the Vatican's permission. With Lorraine's help, they are able to exorcise Bathsheba, lift the curse, and condemn the spirit. The end.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm raising my eyebrows. I don't know if you can tell with my beanie, but
What did you think?
a lot of things. I have mixed opinions about this movie, and I also feel like my opinions aren't super popular about this movie. I don't want to tarnish yours. So I feel like,
Okay.
how did you feel about it?
I also have mixed opinions about it.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I knew that it was pretty highly rated and very high grossing. So I had pretty high expectations that were just not met. I also really love paranormal movies. I think we've talked about a gazillion times in previous episodes. Um, and this one just kind of felt over the top to me. I think if
Okay.
they had scaled it back just a little bit, like take out the bird scenes and just, I don't know, maybe she didn't need to go upside down in the chair. I don't know. If they had toned it down a little bit, it would have been a lot more real and a lot more scary.
Yeah. I think I think the first 40 minutes of this movie are fantastic. And then I'm
Yes,
out.
agreed.
I don't like the ending. I don't want to watch the last half. Like literally got bored watching The Exorcism. It was so long. There
Mhm.
was so much screaming and like you know what's going to happen. There's no consequences. Like you know that they're going to be fine. So for
Yeah.
that much to happen when you know it's all gonna be fine in the end was just like, I don't wanna listen to someone scream that much. I know I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of the Saw series, and that's mostly screaming, but, like, that's different.
Yeah. There's actually blood and, like, things happening that are interesting in the Saw movie that I've seen. I assume they're all that way.
In the Saw
Um,
movie.
um, but yeah, no, it was too much. And once they showed the witch, it was like, okay, there she is. She's fucking lady in makeup.
Guy in makeup. It's always a guy in makeup.
It is
Um
a guy in makeup. The score writer.
Yeah. I think it's just yeah, I don't know, I think paranormal movies are more impactful. At least for me personally, like, if they really don't show the ghost or the demon or whatever, because it's either
Mhm.
really bad CGI or just some dude in makeup, and it's like, neither of those are scary.
Yeah.
So I think there's, like, a lot of, like, moments of tension early on in the movie when there's just, like, the clapping and, like, things
Mhm.
happening, like the thing behind the door, but you don't see it, and it's like those moments I feel like were done really well,
Yeah.
and then some of it just kinda fell flat for me. But I'm also
Yeah.
not a paranormal enjoyer, so I mean, I am, but, like, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I get you. No, I feel like once you, like, give it a shape or you personify it or whatever, it's not paranormal anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's just some guy in makeup.
Yeah, yeah, a creature feature.
It's just barbarian.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I did not I to your point though, a few minutes back, the ending was entirely too predictable and, like, almost too, butterflies and rainbows.
Yeah.
Everybody's hugging on the front lawn and the music's all sweet and it's all sunny and,
Yeah.
like, it's not how I want my horror movies to end. I want people to die.
Well, I mean, like, the ending, the music box starts playing by itself, so it's kinda like, "Ooh,
Well, yeah.
it's
There's, like,
still
7 other
there."
movies in the series.
3. There's 3 Conjurings, 3
Yeah, but 2
Annabelles,
Annabelles, 3
3
Annabelles,
Annabelles,
okay.
1
The Nun,
nun, soon to be another
La
nun,
Llorona.
La Llorona, soon to be another nun, soon to be another Conjuring. Just keeps going.
Yeah. Which, like, another reason there didn't have to be quite so happy of an ending.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's difficult when you're, like, doing things that are based on true stories, right? Like, this one's,
Yeah.
one of the family members and Lorraine Warren were consults on this film, so, like, I think that
Mhm.
kind of had to do with it, like, it's obviously a very biased approach to what happened there, which, like, you expect, it's a movie, so but,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think anybody was taking away from the fact that their experience in real life was very frightening. And I think that would have translated into a movie without quite so much of the Hollywood treatment, you know?
Yeah.
I feel bad because I'm just shitting on this movie, but I did like it, I suppose.
I mean, you don't
No,
have
not
to
really.
like any movie that we
Yeah.
do here.
Yeah, no, I didn't really.
I am surprised though, because people love this movie, and I am usually the one who has to like pretend I like it more than I do because I don't know, it just doesn't I don't get it.
Yeah,
It's
it
not a
so
terrible
it
movie. It's just like I don't know, there's just things about it I don't like.
yeah, I think in a lot of the movies that we've watched, there's that 40 minutes of tension building, and then there's, like, a really, like, jaw-dropping, like, "Oh my god" moment, and in this one, there was this tension building, and then it was, like, not it's just a moment, like, I don't know. It just didn't impress me. I wanted to be impressed, and I wasn't.
It is hard when you're coming into a movie that has such a big reputation for it.
Yeah.
'Cause that was, like, one of the reasons I was disappointed with A Quiet Place, like, one of the reasons I was disappointed with Hereditary was, like, the hype around them it was so huge that, like, there was
Mhm.
no way it could live up to it, you know what I mean? So, I think there
Yeah.
is some of that with this, like we just said, it's like a fucking 8-movie universe that came out of this one film, so, like,
Mhm.
clearly the hype is big.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to live up to that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. But apparently they did say there were some differences between the real life events and the movies.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, there was no exorcism that took place
I
because,
was being sarcastic.
well, yeah, obviously, obviously, in my mind, there were a lot of differences that took place, but I'm not
Yeah.
here to talk about that. But they didn't do an exorcism because you can't do an exorcism if you're not a bishop. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. And then, if you believe in that, and then the Warrens were actually kicked out. They couldn't help the family, so Roger, the dad, was like, "Get out." Although I don't think
Oh,
there's any like
no.
I don't think there's any bad blood between them. But he was just like, "My wife's going through it. You guys need to leave."
Yeah.
There was a real Bathsheba Sherman. She was accused of witchcraft. She was accused of killing a child. She was legally cleared. She died of natural causes. There's lots of rumors about her online because of this movie. Um, Especially that like she had children that she killed. There's no evidence to that. The official US Census records show that she did have one son and he lived a very long life as a farmer. So, um,
Hmm.
as far as we know, it's all rumors. And Bathsheba was a perfectly fine human being.
Well, you know what they say. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah.
um,
Yikes.
I mean, she killed the baby at 7 days old. Who's to say that the baby just didn't even make it onto the census?
Yeah, that's like what a lot of people have said. Like, she had 3 kids and they never lived past like long enough to make it on the census and stuff. But like, I think a lot
Yeah.
of that's just rumor. Like, there's really no evidence of that whatsoever. So,
Okay.
why are we sullying some poor dead woman's name for a movie? Come on.
Definitely more fun to imagine her that way.
It is. It is. Also, though, the current owner of the house, well, at least current, like at the time that this film came out,
Yeah.
uh, she was so annoyed at this movie being made because they like said where the house was. That like
Oh.
people kept trespassing and like trying to come into her house and stuff. And so she made she made an hour-long video that you can find on YouTube, basically digging into the history of the house and all the like occurrences to disprove as much of it as she could and be like, this film is bullshit. Like, imagine being
Oh my
that
god.
fed up that you research enough for an hour-long video. I love that kind of
Well,
petty.
she also sued, didn't she?
Oh, I don't know. She might have. She probably did
Yeah,
because of like the
I'm pretty sure she
distress.
did.
That sounds
Well,
right.
and people were like, to your point, people were coming into the house and like
Yeah.
vandalizing it, and they settled. There
Mm.
was another case that arose from it. Um, Somebody who had done an autobiography, I guess not an autobiography, but a biography of Ed and Lorraine,
Oh.
um, claimed to have all of the rights to their life story, and that this movie was ripping off their life story. Um, so he had the rights to that. So he
Oh.
sued. Warner Brothers settled with him, and they continued to make the movie.
Interesting. I
Mhm.
mean, I feel like you could
Yeah.
argue that like this isn't their story, it's the Perron story.
True. And I think originally it was written kind of more to where you would believe it was the parent story. And then they brought in new screenwriters, and those screenwriters then rewrote it to be specifically the Warren story. Warren
Yeah. Warren.
story. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of
so
a mix of both.
yeah. Yeah, they do a good job doing both.
Yeah. It's another James Wan film, which I didn't really think about when I was doing it because I don't associate, like, Saw and The Conjuring at all.
Yeah, and we literally
But
just did Saw.
I know, which I've realized, like, I probably should have spaced it out. 2 James Wan films this close together, but
That's
it's,
right.
uh it's actually the first film he directed that didn't feature a cameo of Billy the Puppet from Saw, and it
Cute.
is also the first film he directed that didn't involve Lee Wanell in any way.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder if there's, like, animosity between them because
I doubt
I
it.
don't know. And then Lee Wanell ended up taking on some of the later Conjuring movies alone, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. I feel like
Speaking
he
of
did
James
that
Wan,
much. Take a break, you know?
yeah,
I don't
I
know,
guess that's true.
work with
Yeah.
someone all the time.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, but we don't work directly together every day.
That's true. But no, speaking of, James Wan, I was waiting pretty much the entire movie for, lipstick face man, red mask man. The
Did you
whole movie. I was like, "When does lipstick face red guy pop up? I'm gonna be so scared. I'm gonna pee my pants."
you thought this
Never
was
did.
Insidious.
I sure did.
Also James Wan, not in this movie. But they do both have Patrick Wilson, so I get it.
Yes. That's well, because the picture that you see of Insidious is Patrick Wilson
Yeah.
with the whatever guy behind him. Uh, yeah. So I was slightly disappointed that he didn't pop up because I was ready to be spooked.
Oh, I'm
But
so sorry that happened to you.
it's okay. That was my fault, not yours. But no, Patrick Wilson apparently has a really good relationship with James Wan and Lee Wanell and has done several of their movies.
Yeah, sure has. Your girl Mackenzie Foy's in
Mhm.
this too. Did you notice?
Yes. This is Mackenzie Foy.
Since last week you
And
were
Saw
nope, Cabin in the
was
Woods.
it Saw? No, Saw.
Cabin in the
Cabin in the
Woods.
Woods. Cabin in the Woods. We haven't released that episode yet. Have we?
Well, it was last week, yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything. Um, yeah, no, this is actually Mackenzie Foy. And I did not Google it just in case there would be any spoilers in the cast, which there weren't.
No. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, no, funny that here she is.
I know. I didn't even realize until I was, like, looking at the IMDb page, and then I was like, "Oh, shit." There she is.
Yep.
Um, this movie also introduces Annabelle, which
Yes.
becomes its own series in the Conjuring universe, and I love
Mm.
how they just, like, decided it was just gonna be a creepy looking porcelain doll, because the real Annabelle is just a Raggedy Ann.
Yep.
Just like a literal doll that so many people had in their houses.
Yes. Yeah. They certainly gave her the paranormal treatment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Also,
Wild though that she has her own storyline now though.
I know, she really did it.
Hmm.
Breakout star.
Stole the show.
Um, you know the scene where one of the daughters is, like, being drug around the house by her hair, and
Yeah.
Lorraine just cuts a huge chunk of it to, like, get it to stop?
Yeah.
I would be pissed. Like, I just have a reverse mullet now because you just decided I'm gonna? I don't fucking think so. She cut off
Well,
so much hair.
this may come as a surprise to you
Yeah.
because you've never not once cut your hair. But you can also cut the rest of the hairs to match
But it
after
was
that happens
so
to you.
much. Like, she's gonna have a fucking bob. That's oh my
At
god.
least she has her head because the way she was getting drug around, she was about to lose it.
Please. How many people did ghosts kill in this film? Zero.
None. Wild lack of deaths.
I know.
It was
Well,
it's almost not even worth watching.
we're gonna get so much hate for this episode. People fucking love this
Honestly,
movie.
I don't
um,
get it.
but no, this movie and the movie Sinister have something in common, which is they both have very little profanity, very little blood, no sex, no nudity, still rated R. Both films were trying to get that PG-13, but the MPAA was like, too scary. R.
Yeah, and they said that there was nothing they could do that
Mhm.
wouldn't, like, alter the tone of the movie to make it PG-13, like, they were gonna get R or they weren't gonna get it released.
Right. Like, they were like, "There's no cuts you can make." Wild behavior from the MPAA, let me tell you what.
Yeah, it's like, the world is so glad that you are not on the MPAA because everything would be like, "G,
No,
PG."
I'm not gonna let a literal child watch this movie.
You
But
think a 13-year-old can watch it?
I would rate this PG-13, yes. Sinister,
Okay.
I might rate R. That one's there's a lot more implied things in that one that I don't know.
That's what I wish was in this one. I wish there was more implied stuff.
Yeah, this one really just doesn't. Zero consequence, let me tell you what.
Yeah, and, like, doesn't leave anything to the imagination.
Not
We've
really,
had
no.
this complaint before, or at least
Yeah,
I've had this complaint before, like,
we have.
I want something to be left to my imagination. I don't need every question answered.
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's this because I feel like sometimes I say things like, I don't need a twist ending or I don't need to be surprised and stuff, and I think it's like, sometimes I want that and sometimes I don't need that, but it all just has to do with, like, how the movie's made and how it's presented, like, I think there's a way to do every trope and every whatever in a way that makes sense, but sometimes it's just a miss, and for me, like, this one just it was a miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I tell you a personal story about this film? Kind
Yes,
of?
please.
More about just an actor in it. So, the dad in this movie is played by Ron Livingston. Most
Correct. Office
people
Space.
yes, most people know him of Office Space. He is from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh my god.
And I was very good friends with his cousin when I was younger. And
Cute.
one year she was like, "Hey, Ron's coming here for Christmas. You gotta come meet him." Because she knew I like when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. She's like, "Come meet Ron, go to Hollywood, make it." I was like, "Great, let's go. I'll be there." Go to my mom. I'm like, "Hey, spending Christmas at the Livingstons. I gotta go." My mom's like, "No, the fuck you're not. Like, we're going to grandma's. Pack it in." So I never got to meet him. So thanks, mom.
Uh,
Isn't that the most
Mom.
anticlimactic story you've ever heard?
Yeah.
But I could have.
Well, shoot.
I know, I could have spent Christmas with Ron Livingston.
You could have been Mackenzie Foy.
She is so much younger than me, I don't think.
Oh, she can't be that much younger than us.
I'm pretty sure
This was
this was 2013.
Yeah, we were like 18 when this movie came out.
Yeah, she was a literal child in this movie.
Well, she looks like a
She was
child.
born she's 22 years old. She was born in 2000.
Okay, so
Just a
okay.
full-grown teenager pretending to be little Cindy Perron.
I mean, they do it all the time in Hollywood.
No, I could have been the one getting drug across by her hair. That's more my age range.
Okay, okay, all right.
That would have been
Either way,
closer.
you could have been in the movie.
I could have been starring in The Conjuring.
You could
And
have.
my mom ruined it for me. Ruined.
Wow.
I know.
I've never had a mean thing to say about your mom, and I still don't, if I'm being honest.
Same. It was a wild ask of like a 12-year-old, so
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. It's always, every time there's an actor from Iowa, I gotta point it out because there's
Mhm.
only 4 of them. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's only 4 people from Iowa total.
well, there's 8, okay?
Okay. And 4 of
The
them are
4
actors?
actors and then me and my family.
That's all who matters, at least.
True.
Just kidding. Alright. What did we like about this movie?
I feel like I feel like I'm too harsh on this movie. It's like it's fun, kind of.
For the first 40 minutes.
I like the first 40 minutes. I don't think like the performances aren't bad.
No.
I and
No, the
like
acting is great.
the direction, the cinematography is fine. I just don't like the story. I don't know, like
The whole point of the movie.
the literal essence of the film, I don't
Yeah.
like that much.
Even the cinematography threw me off though. Like
Really?
they used like 5 different kinds of cameras and
Mm.
all sorts of weird like angles, and sometimes it was like steady cam, sometimes it was shaky cam. I don't know.
See, I don't mind when
Now
they
that you
do
mentioned
that
that.
because I feel like different camera angles or different like camera motions can convey different things. So it's not my least favorite thing when they do stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Um
First 40 minutes
but no,
though, I think it's fun.
yes. I agree with you. The acting is great.
Lost me in that last half. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the acting's fine. Like I think no one like did a terrible job.
Mm-mm. No.
Um Corn-fed Ron Livingston did great.
What?
Corn-fed Ron Livingston did great, you know? It's
Yeah. Built different.
yeah, corn just does something to you.
Thought you were gonna say it's what's for dinner. I feel like we've talked plenty about what we didn't like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can skip that.
Yeah, we I feel like we went over that.
Yeah.
I really thought that
How
we were
scary was it?
oh,
Oh,
sorry. I really thought that we were
no.
gonna disagree, though. I thought that you might really like this. But just because like, everyone I've ever met really likes this movie, and I'm always like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah, no, honestly, I just I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Maybe we need new co-hosts. We're not arguing enough.
Yeah, no, we agreed about Saw too. Maybe it's just like a James Wan thing. Anything that James Wan puts out, we're gonna agree upon.
That's true. Nice.
Mhm.
Anyways, you said scary.
Yeah, how scary was it?
1.
Oh,
Sorry, it's
okay.
the paranormal thing again. There are a few moments of tension, like, early in the film where I was kinda like, "Okay, we could have something here." But I don't remember ever feeling, like, super, super scared.
The jump scares don't add to your one at all?
No, because I feel like in this one, I knew when the jump scares were gonna happen.
Oh,
There's a
I didn't
formula.
feel that way. Well, yeah, but sometimes they left that formula open.
Mm,
Like when the one sister, I think Nancy, was looking under the bed,
mhm.
there was no jump scare then.
Yeah, but that was an obvious fake out.
Okay. Excuse me.
I feel like when
Um,
you've seen as many horror movies as me, you can tell when they're coming and when it's gonna be a fake one. Like, I promise you, 15, 20 movies from now, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I saw that coming." Or yeah, I knew nothing was gonna happen.
Well, I saw every jump scare coming,
Yeah. You just
but I couldn't suss out the fake ones.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? How
Um,
scared did you think it was?
I give it 2.5.
Alright. I think that's a fair rating.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moments of tension, there are some jump scares. It's just paranormal. I'm immune.
Yeah. Yeah. I certainly don't think it was scary enough to be an R-rated movie because it was so scary, quote unquote. Like that doesn't make sense to me at all.
No. With this one, no. With Sinister, maybe. I could
I don't
maybe
know what
see.
you're talking
I
about.
know, but one day you will and you'll look back and be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, no. Yeah. Can't see the justification of making that an R-rated movie on that basis alone.
I agree. I concur.
um how sexy
1.
did you think it was? Yeah, 1.
I can't really think of anything sexy about this. Even the witch isn't sexy. A shame.
Yeah, they threw out some like there were some if you dug real deep, there were some kinks to be seen. There was a maid outfit.
I think the dead person
There
in the maid
was
outfit kind of cancels that out.
oh, don't kink shame.
I will.
um, yeah, that was really it.
Oh, well,
It's a 1.
was that it? Just the
Mm,
maid outfit?
I
She
mean,
was getting tied up in the basement. You didn't think that?
there's some people being tied up. There was some mention of like, "Hey, did you put that bruise on me?" Which is like kind of cute, but still a 1.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think the like, ooh, getting tied up, but like for an exorcism, wah wah. It's
Eh,
like, okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna throw up blood on you, but
Well, hey, don't kink shame.
yeah.
Just kidding.
Uh,
Sometimes you have to kink shame. Um, was how fucked up?
um, a 2.
Okay.
It's like, well, whatever. Like the most fucked up thing is that like you have to get approval from the Vatican to have a fucking exorcism. Like, come on,
Yeah, you can't
that
just
should
be
be at the bishop level.
having exorcisms left and right. Also, the only reason that they had to get the Vatican's approval is because the parents weren't members of the church.
Right. But what I'm saying is that it should be at the bishop level. The bishop
It
should be able to
is.
see that footage.
Well, it
It's
is
not.
normally.
I know,
They're not members of
but
the church, Katie. You
all of
no,
it.
no. You
Sorry.
said you like the pomp and circumstance of Catholicism. So now you're gonna have to
I
buck up and deal with the pomp and circumstance of Catholicism.
That is neither pomp nor circumstance. That is procedure. I don't like procedure. I like pomp and circumstance.
All right. Well, maybe you're rethinking your midnight mass ideas here.
No,
No, still want to be
no.
Catholic, huh?
Yeah. Just advocates for some procedural change.
Got it. Yeah.
That's all.
They love procedural change, so go ahead and go for it.
They do when it doesn't matter.
Don't.
When it does matter, they don't.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I gave it a 1. I don't know what I guess kids are tormented and it's like alluded that children were killed in the past, but like was it enough for it to be fucked up? No, not for me. Her getting that fucking haircut, that was a little fucked up.
Oh my god. I didn't especially maybe I need to give it a 1.5 because I really did not like the blood vomit into the mouth.
Well, you gave it a did you give it a 2? You gave it a 2.
Scary,
Oh,
2.5. Fucked up, 1. But now maybe 1.5
okay, because the blood vomiting.
because of the blood vomit. Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, but specifically, you can vomit blood, like, that's fine. You're probably not okay, but not into somebody else's mouth.
Got it.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I wouldn't want that to happen to me.
No, no. Um, totally unrelated to literally anything that we're talking about right now. I mean, it's about the movie, I suppose. But I got some like Bates Motel vibes towards the end with like the rocking chair and the mother sitting in the rocking chair brushing Annabelle's hair.
Have
Have you seen Bates
you
Motel?
have you've seen Bates Motel?
Of
But
course.
you've never seen Psycho?
No,
Okay.
I know.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
know.
it is Vera Farmiga in both, so
I know. That did it for me too. But
yeah?
like specifically like that one scene where, you know, you see the chair and it's
That was Bates Motel-y for you, huh?
Bates Motel. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just at the
Anyway.
Bates Motel this past, October.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Universal Studios. You too can but during the horror nights, you get to walk through the actual set. Usually on the tour.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta go for horror nights, it's fun.
I've been to horror nights, but
Oh,
I've
you
never
didn't get
gotten
to
to
walk
walk through
through?
the hotel.
Oh, yeah, last year when we went, we got to walk we got to walk on the boardwalk of the hotel and then
Damn.
up to the house, and then you could go up the actual steps of the house and take pictures with Norman there if you wanted to.
Ooh.
The line was too long, so we just kept moving.
Oh. You know, the last time I went, I feel like we drove past the hotel and like
Oh.
somebody came out of the hotel with a knife, like chasing after the
Oh.
tram.
So that usually happens during the studio tour.
That's yeah, that's the only like that's the closest I've ever been to the house. You don't even get
Okay.
off the tram at that point.
Okay, so did you go on the tram during horror nights? Because they make you get
No.
okay, so that's what you need to do. They make you get off, and then you
Okay.
get to walk through some of the sets. We got to walk through that. We got to walk through, the Nope set for Jordan Peele's movie.
Ooh.
We walked past the, War of the Worlds plane, all that kinda stuff. We were just walking
Oh yeah.
as people attacked us.
Love that.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a whole
Tangent. Little
tangent.
tangent.
Hollywood Horror Nights, sponsor us. Uh,
No, it's a base motel shout out.
yeah, it's Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Go to Universal Studios Hollywood. Uh,
Mhm.
Alright, overall, what did you think?
I gave it a 2.
I also gave it a
It's
2.
just did you
I
really?
did, yeah. I was debating between a
Ah,
2 and a 2.5 because I feel like sometimes I'm unfair to this movie, and I think it's, like it's one of those where, like, everybody talks about how much they love it and how good it is that it, like, makes me wanna like it more, but when I'm being honest with myself, I don't.
yeah, and that's what this whole journey is about, is being honest with ourselves. And my heart says this movie shat. But, like, not completely. A 2. A 2.
A 2. That is that the lowest you've rated a movie, though? I think that's the lowest I've rated a
Maybe.
movie.
Maybe. I can't think of any movie that I was so indifferent about.
That's controversial.
Yeah. We're gonna get nasty DMs.
This is gonna be a spicy one. Bring it on. This is when we're gonna get that. When we first started this podcast, Katie was like, "What if people start leaving like mean messages on our like videos?" And I was like, "I already know what they're gonna say, and it's gonna be like killer cutie is more like killer uglies." So like, this is the episode that happens.
Yep. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Uh, all right. Final question. Would you survive?
Yep.
Yeah,
Duh.
obviously.
It's like nobody fucking died.
No one dies. Ghosts are weak ass bitches, and I'll fight one any day of the week, dude. Bring it the fuck on.
Yeah. There's there's like probably 10 minutes of the movie where you're like, wow, this could, by you, I mean me. You're like, wow, this could be the movie for Phasmophobia.
Mm,
And then nobody dies. And you're like, wow, I don't even get to teabag my friends.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is super easy to survive situation. No one dies. There's no consequences whatsoever, unless you're that dog.
Hmm.
Rip. Sorry. But I'm not
Yeah,
a dog.
true.
I'm a person.
Thanks for clarifying.
No problem. I'd probably live a long and happy life in that house.
Yep.
I'd be like that new lady. I think her name's Norma, making hour-long YouTube videos telling people to fuck off my property.
Too funny. Yeah, no. No brainer you'd live.
Yeah. Live every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Twice on Sunday, you know?
Yeah. Well.
Anyway. Alright, well, next week, we can't really do a You Guess the Plot because you've already seen it, right? So it's American Horror
What
Story,
have
first season.
I have seen American Horror Story, the first
Yeah.
season.
We're jumping back in. We're doing another series. Just season 1.
Whew.
We're not getting crazy.
Yeah. Fucking still 12 episodes.
12 episodes, 12 hours of our life gonna be dedicated to this. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I can't even just write it thinking that I remember everything because that's what happened with Saw. And I didn't even remember it was a pen light. Never again. All
It gives
right.
me the vibes of like Liar Liar, where he's like, the pen is blue. It's a fucking flashlight.
The pen is royal blue. My sister and I used to quote that all the time. That and then we'd just like anytime we were in the car together, we'd just pop up in the glove compartment and be like, unpaid parking tickets. So stupid.
And changing lanes in an intersection. That's the only reason I don't change lanes in an intersection is because of that movie. I was never told not to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
that's bad driver's ed. We definitely were told that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I even took a class to get rid of a ticket, and they didn't even tell me not to change lanes in an intersection. I know that that's not a good thing to do, and I could see why that would cause an accident. I would never do it, but it's only because I watched Jim Carrey's Liar Liar.
Okay. Well, you know what? Whatever gets the point across.
Yep. And on that note,
We'll see you next week. This has been The Conjuring. Don't change lanes in an intersection.
all right. Well, that wraps it up for today. If there are any movies you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM on our socials.
Thanks so much for listening, and we hope to see you next week when we talk about the first season of the hit anthology TV series American Horror Story. We'll see you then. Bye.